Hi folks, Azot Legacy here and welcome to my first challenge video ever. If you don't know me, I'll introduce myself. My name is Azot Legacy, but you can call me Azot for short. I'm an Italian pizza-fueled Pokemaniac with a keen interest for the lore of Pokémon, Pokémon theories, Nuzlocke, Nuzlocke variants and such. I always wanted to do challenge videos here on YouTube and share my passion for Pokémon games, but never felt like I was ready. Today I want to change things by actually tackling my first Monotype Hardcore Nuzlocke challenge on a mainline Pokémon game, and there's a catch. I won't be the one to choose the game. The Claw will do it for me. I'm in fate. So let's spin the wheel of fate and see what it has in store for us. And yes, Pokémon White. I couldn't ask for a better game. I really wanted to play this game again. Then let's spin the wheel another time to see which type I'm going to use. And it's the ground type. Well, I'm pretty happy with this result. Not bad at all. Pokémon Black and White are some of my favorite Pokémon games ever, plus they have a wide range of really solid ground-type Pokémon such as Excadrill, Crocodile and... wait, are these the only ground-type Pokémon you know? I can already tell this challenge is going to be really hard. Since my rules prevent me from using legendary and mythical Pokémon, Landorus isn't considered a viable option, so only 5 fully evolved Pokémon lines remain available throughout the adventure. Not much of a choice. Well, I don't like to do this since I play Pokémon games with the Dupe clause always on, but cases like this require special rules. Since I will not be able to have a party of 6 by the time I reach the Pokémon League, I allow myself to catch a Dupe. To make things a little bit more challenging, I won't be able to use the Dupe if I already have the same Pokémon in my party, which means if I have a Krokorok in my party, my Dupe must be kept as a Sandile or evolve it into Crocodile. It cannot be a Krokorok. You can check the rule list in the comment section down below, but to make things short, only the first ground type encounter in each route or area can be caught. If a Pokémon faints, it must be permanently boxed. I can't use items in battle, no overleveling past the next gym leaders or Elite Four says before the start of a battle, and the game is on set mode. Held items are okay. Just a quick reminder before I start. If you found yourself enjoying this video, please take a moment to click the like button down below, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, consider subscribing to the channel. Doing so would help me a ton. So with all that out of the way, let's dive in. As a tradition of mine, I decided to go for the female character since they tend to look better and have cooler outfits than their male counterparts. I named myself Azot, set the game on set mode, and chose my starter so generously gifted by Professor Juniper. Since no starter in this region evolves into a ground type, I decided to set Drillbur as a starter as it is the first available ground type Pokémon that can be found in the region. To make things even harder for me, I've exchanged Drillbur into the Tepic slot, which means Bianca and Cheren now have Snivy and Oshawott, both strong against my team of ground types. Guys, who's gonna help me clean this mess? What? Guys, come here!
Hi Mom, I can explain. No!
Inside Professor Juniper's laboratory, I got the chance to name my naughty mole Claw. Yes, I know, very fitting. In the evening, after some training on Route 1, Claw and I arrive in Accumula Town. While leaving for the next city though, Cheren and I get distracted by a pro-monarchy political rally. Once the rally is over, I get attacked by a mad young man who wants to hear my Pokémon voice. I don't know what voice he's referring to, all I know is that Claw lets his hands speak for him, and in no time the fight is over. After an eventful battle against Bianca, we found ourselves in Striaton City, location of the very first gym. But before that, it's time to study Pokémon strategies at the Pokémon School. Cheren is studying here too, and after an unremarkable fight against him, he gives me some much needed Oran berries. Nice! Now I have all I need to fight against the first gym. Personally, I think this gym is one of the scariest gyms in all of Unova, and do you know why? It's the gym leaders. Yes, I said gym leaders. Since I put Drillbur in the Tepic slot, I have to face Cress and his terrifying Pampur. He leads with a level 12 Lillipup. I know he can hit pretty hard, and unfortunately Claw isn't the best defensive wall, so the only thing I can do is lower his accuracy with Mud Slap. Lillipup goes for Work Up, raising his attack. I then hit with another Mud Slap as Lillipup goes for a second Work Up. I'm really scared now, so I decide to lower his accuracy again with a third Mud Slap. And finally Lillipup fails to land a bite. Scratch misses the KO and Lillipup gets off the 4th work up. At this point, Cress uses a potion on his pup as I attack with Scratch, taking over a third of his health. The next turn, a crit Scratch finishes the job. This gets Claw to level 14. Pampur comes out next. Scratch takes a fourth of his health as he gets off a war cap. I'm frightened. It's time to lower this monkey's accuracy. Despite the accuracy drop, Pampur fires off a +1 super effective water gun, putting Claw in the yellow. Thankfully, the Oran Berry activates. I then hit with Scratch, and thanks to the -1 accuracy, Pampur fails to land a water gun. Another Scratch puts Pampur in the red, and yes, Pampur fails another time. I can't believe a single Mud Slap could help so much. A Scratch finishes him off on the next turn, granting us the first badge. 1 down, 7 to go. After the gym fight, I head to the Dream Yard, where Bianca and I watch our future partner get kicked by some frustrated politicians I've seen at the Kumla Town's rally, when all of a sudden their boss appears, splits in two and then fuses back into one, screaming something to do with a certain Joe or something like that. I didn't catch that very well. Okay. On Route 3, I get mocked by 2 little girls only because I don't have enough Pokémon for their stupid double battle. So I head back to the Dream Yard, take Pansage from the lady found there, and after naming it, I return to Route 3 and blast the 2 girls with Claw. Right after that, Sharon then stops me for a fight. Needless to say, I defeated him with no casualties. We're finally in Nacrene City, home of the second gym. In a house near the Pokémon Center, a woman gives me the Mystic Water, a powerful and useful held item for my next encounter. While exploring the outside of Pinwheel Forest, I'm able to catch a Timple who I named Bubos, because the protrusion of this evolutionary line have always reminded me of the bubonic plague. She is just a water type for now, but once she has evolved into a Palpitoad, she'll gain the ground type, and that's the reason why it is considered viable for a Monotype challenge. It's time to train a little bit, but unfortunately I step into this preschooler's visual area. And good Arceus, why? Why did you do this to me? This innocent preschooler leads with Cottony and I panic. Plus, she's faster and goes for Leech Seed. This isn't good. Bubos attacks with Round and lands a useful crit, bringing her below a third of health. Good job, Bubos. The Leech Seed activates, but fortunately she goes for a second Leech Seed and fails for obvious reasons, while Bubos goes for another round, leaving her with a sliver of health. I decide to stay in, and the decision pays off as Cottony fails again and another round knocks out Cottony. The worst seems to be over, but Petilil joins the fray and I shit my pants and start to throw up all over the place. Out of pure spite, I decide to stay in and go for round. Bubos outspeeds but did less than a third. Petilil then tucks Bubos in with Slip Powder, as the Leech Seed continues to drain her for more damage. Bubos is completely useless now, so I decide to switch to Claw, as Petilil goes for Growth. Ooh, that's scary. Metal Claw does a huge chunk of damage before Petilil is able to respond with Leech Seed. Ha! This was your last mistake, rookie. Claw picks the kill with another powerful Metal Claw, and the fight is over. What a nightmare! What is wrong with you Novan children nowadays? After picking up my laundry at the coin wash, Anne decides to challenge me to a battle, but at this point I'm like 5 levels higher than him. There's no need to show you how it went. Time for the second toughest fight in the game. Gym Leader Lenora, Master of Normal Types. She leads with a Hardier who intimidates Bubos as she comes in. The strategy is simple. Bubos has to lower Hardier's attack stat as many times as possible. Then I switch to Claw and retaliate with Dig. On my first turn I go for Aquaring as she goes for her Leer. I go for Growl and thankfully Hardier fails to land his first takedown. After the second Growl, Hardier nullifies my tax drops, going for another Leer. I decide to go for a third Growl, but Hardier's takedown still hits for half HP. I go for a fourth Growl, but Hardier retaliates with a nasty takedown, leaving Bubos with only 5 HP, which turns to 8 HP thanks to the Aquaring recovery. Bubos has done her job, so I switch to Claw but immediately gets KO'd by a critical hit takedown. Oh no, Claw, not you! You didn't deserve this! Time to switch back to Bubos, but at this point there's nothing we can do. Bubble Beam doesn't even get the KO, and after dodging an upcoming takedown, Lenora uses a super potion on her Hardier, and yeah, I have to admit defeat. After hitting a couple of times with Bubble Beam and avoiding an attack, Bubos get hit by a takedown, bringing an end to attempt number 1. Attempt number 2 starts with a female Drillbur who I named Stripes and a modest female Temple who I named Bubo. After a defensive training session in Wellspring Cave, I give a Persian Berry to Stripes, Mystic Water to Bubo, and we're ready to rematch Lenora. The strategy is the same. I start off with Bubo and go for a growl. Hardier responds with a takedown, bringing Bubo to half HP. I then go for a second growl while another takedown brings her to 10 HP. It's time to switch. Stripes comes in and takes a weak bite. She's able to outspeed and retaliates with Dig, bringing Hardier to 1 single HP. So annoying. Before going down with the recoil, Hardier manages to hit us with her last takedown, dealing a lot of damage. Watchog comes in, but her Hypnosis ends up missing. A powerful Step Dig deals more than half damage. I can already taste victory. Only one more attack and... a crit retaliate from Watchog finishes Stripes off. Come on, I'm so unlucky with these crits. Next Bubo comes in, outspeeds, and a crit Bubble Beam takes the kill. Bubo, what a champion! If only Stripes were here with us, she would be so proud of you. 2 badges down, 6 to go. After this intense battle, Lenora's husband comes in to let us some people are trying to steal a displayed piece in the museum. The thieves are none other than those pro-monarchy politicians we first met in Accumula Town. They are not joking this time. They scream about the Joe Dude again and the Dragonite School, and all of them are gone. What do they need that for? Once outside the museum, we meet Berg, Castilia's city gym leader. He wants to help us take back the Dragonite School, so after teaming up with him, we're after Team Plasma inside Pinwheel Forest. But before that, it's time to deposit our dead friend Stripes. I want to cry. In Pinwheel Forest, I get ambushed by a ranger with a level 18 Pansage, and unfortunately Bubo is the only member in my party. I decide to use Growl to lower its attack, but his Wine Whips are just too powerful for me. More to that, my Bubble Beams don't even do enough damage, and 3 other Vine Whips ends up killing Bubo. So here goes attempt number 2. Fast forward to attempt number 3, and I'm against Lenora. Needless to say, the party and the strategy are the same. I lead with Jester the Temple and drop her attack stat with a couple of growls, while takedowns recoils bring her to less than half HP. I then switch to Kaiba.
Give it to us. Kaiba!
Who gets hit by a takedown. Dig gets the KO. Watchog comes in, but she goes down after 2 stab digs. In Pinwheel Forest, I want to make sure to teach this ranger a lesson she'll never forget. The bittersweet taste of revenge, so good. At the end of the forest, we get the Dragon School back from Team Plasma and return it to Lenora. Then I move toward Castelia City, where I found some really powerful items such as the TM for Attract, Rest and the Eviolite. On Route 4, I finally get my new encounter, a male Sandile who I named Roughneck, mainly because of Crocodile's bald head. So I thought it would be cool to name him after a class of bold trainers. There's nothing much left to do in the city, so the squad and I are headed to the gym, but we're told Bianca's Muna got stolen by those mad lads of Team Plasma. I'm genuinely sorry for her poor Muna. How many more traumas does she have to go through? Seriously, give that cutie pie a break, or I'm going to break some necks. After helping Bianca get her Pokémon back, it's finally time to tackle the 3rd gym. I've put together a good strategy for Berg, but I need to be extremely lucky. A single mistake could be the end of me and my whole team. I lead with Roughneck, while Berg leads with Whirlipede. The plan is to set up with Kaiba and sweep his team, but in order to do this, I need Whirlipede to stay on the field as long as possible. Therefore, I hit him with 6 mud slaps in a row, dropping his accuracy to the depths of the earth. Now that Whirlipede is completely blinded by mud, it's time to switch to Kaiba and hit with an Attract. After doing that, I go for Hone Claws 6 times in a row. A single cut is all it takes to take Whirlipede down, but now it's Bergsay's turn, Liveni. Thanks to the Eviolite, Kaiba manages to take a Razor Leaf to the face and hit with an Attract. All I need now is for Liveni to stay immobilized by love, and yes, he can move. Even Kaiba can't believe her eyes, and for that she lands a critical hit, finishing off mouth leave any. Dupe is Berg's last Pokémon, but it doesn't represent much of a threat and goes down with 2 attacks. The insect badge is ours. 3 down, 5 to go. Once outside the gym, the X-Transceiver starts to ring and it's Bianca. She's much stronger now and wants to fight us inside Route 4's gate. She's that serious, her team looks terrifying. She leads with a Hardier, while I lead with Roughneck, and we both get a drop at each other's attack stat thanks to the Intimidate abilities. Since Takedown has a 20% chance to miss, I decide to go for Mud Slap in order to increase the chances of her missing, but she knows that too, and goes for another Sloof, making my Mud Slap ineffective. Since other Sloof works only for a turn, I decide to drop her accuracy one more time with a Mud Slap, and her next takedown ends up failing. Fast forward to me healing with a rest, infatuating Hardier with Attract, and attacking a bunch of times with Stab Bites. Hardier finally goes down, but Servine comes out next. After avoiding Servine's Leech Seed, I make a huge mistake going for an Attract, after immediately realizing Servine's gender, but it's too late. Thank you, Cerebi. This one's on me, but also on you too. Switching to Bulbapedia for the rest of the challenge, I realize how bad the situation is. Roughneck deals some damage with Bite, but the Leech Seeds force me to switch to Kaiba, as she's the only one that can take a hit from Servine. A powerful Leaf Tornado is exactly half HP, and to add insult to injury, it also lowers my accuracy by 1 stage. I feel cornered. There's nothing much I can do than go for an Attract and hope for the best. Servine breaks through the infatuation and hits Kaiba with Leech Seed. Our Citrus Berry activates and I go for Home Close, boosting my attack and accuracy. Bianca knows she needs a little bit more power to kill us, so she goes for Growth, as the Leech Seed nearly restores Servine's whole health bar. It's now or never. Kaiba goes for Cut and gets a detrimental crit, finishing off the green snake. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Kaiba, you're the best. On the next turn, Bubo takes down Pampur with some rounds, and Muna gets obliterated by Roughneck. After defeating Bianca, I started training on Route 4 for the upcoming Cheren fight, and this happened. Oh, a shiny! A full-out shiny! Oh my gosh, why? Why me? Oh, fucking course I found a shiny in a Monotype challenge. I can't even use that. Alright. Let's catch it then. I named it Lucky Charm as I'm in extreme need of some luck. After that, Jester grows to level 25, evolves into a Palpitoad and finally gains the Ground type. I've got another tricky rival battle against Cheren before I can move toward Nimbasa City. Thankfully, the Sandstorm is going to help me out a lot during the fight, but Dewott still gives me the shivers. The battle starts. He's leading off with Pidove as I go with Kaiba. I decide to go for an Attract to try to immobilize Pidove's movement, but the Pigeon manages to break through the infatuation 2 times in a row. After one Home Close, one single cut is enough to knock out Pidove. Dewott comes out next turn, and due to the fact that Kaiba now has Sand Force instead of Sand Rush, it's highly probable she's not able to outspeed him, so I decide to switch to Jester. Palpitoad is a ground type now, so Razor Shell deals a lot of damage and unfortunately it gets a defense drop too. I'm in trouble. Still, I decide to stay in and lower his attack stat with a Growl, but Dewott completely counters it with a perfectly timed Focus Energy. This is it, folks. I might lose the fight right now. My only chance to win this is to lower his speed with a Mud Shot and then retaliate with another team member, but my attack activates his Citrus Berry, recovering some of Dewott's HP back. Fortunately, the second Razor Shell doesn't get a crit nor a defense drop. Roughneck comes in and gets an Intimidate into Dewott, lowering his attack stat. Razor Shell hits, but doesn't even do half damage. I feel like we can do it now. Sendai goes for a bite, hoping to flinch, but Dewott manages to survive. Not only that, a high roll Razor Shell takes down Roughneck. No, Roughneck, I needed you. You were the key to victory for the Pokémon League. I'm devastated, but Kaiba comes in next turn, and thanks to the -1 speed, she's able to outspeed and pick the KO with a cut. Roughneck's spirit is avenged. Pansir and Liepard are next, but they get taken down in quick succession. After boxing Roughneck and Lucky Charm inside the PC, we arrive in Nimbasa City, home of the Electric-type gym. While trying to get into the gym, Ann stops me and invites me to the most awkward Ferris wheel ride I ever had. He tells me he's the king of Team Plasma and reveals his organization's plan to awaken a dormant force of nature. Still intoxicated and confused, Anne challenges me to a fight, and oh boy, I didn't expect it to go this way. Both Sandile and Darumaka go down with a single bubble beam. Scraggy is a completely different story though. Not only does he survive a Mystic Water boosted Bubble Beam, but it also connects his Swagger. Staying out is not an option, so I swap into Kaiba, but Brick Break brings her to a half HP. There's nothing I can do other than use Attract, but Scraggy doesn't know what love is, and breaks through the infatuation, leaving Kaiba with only 5 HP. Fortunately, the Citrus Berry activates, but I can't stay in against him. Jester comes in next turn, and takes a less effective Feint attack. A crit Bubble Beam picks the KO on Scraggy, and Sigilyph comes in. Tailwind gives us a free turn, but our Bubble Beam doesn't deal all that much. Psybeam, however, it's really hard on Jester, who, full of resentment, retaliates with a high roll Bubble Beam, outspeeding on the next turn and putting Sigilyph in the red. Whirlwind drags Jester out and Kaiba comes in. Tailwind is still in effect, so I swap back into Pulpitoad as it can tank some other attacks from the full Sigilyph. On the switch the Tailwind peters out, and Sigilyph gets blasted by a final Bubble Beam. Oof, that was way too close for my likings. If only Roughneck were still with us, she would have helped so much. It's time to fight Eleza, the Electric-type gym leader. She's leading off with her first Emolga, as I'm going in with Kaiba. Aerial Ace does a lot of damage, even with the Evilite. I go for an Attract, but Emolga breaks through, and a crit brings Kaiba down to only 10 HP. Ah, come on, don't do that to me. All it takes is another attack and the challenge is over. I put all my hopes into the next move, and yes, Emolga is immobilized by love, and Rest recovers all my HP back. We're still in it. After taking some damage, Kaiba wakes up, attacks, and rests another time before getting hit by 2 more aerial aces and picking the kill on the flying rat with a cut. It's time for the other Emolga, but I'm too low on health right now, so I swap into Jester. After taking some damage and getting a well-deserved rest, the Chestoberry activates, waking up Jester immediately, and she retaliates with a Bubble Beam, dropping Emolga's speed by 1 stage. This speed drop allows Jester to outspeed on the next turn, finishing off Emolga with another Bubble Beam. Jester grows to level 28. After teaching Muddy Water over Bubble Beam, Eleza's ace Zebstrika comes in. Jester completely walls this thing, so I'm not concerned at all. After taking 2 quick attacks, Zebstrika goes down with 2 super effective mud shots, winning us the Bold Badge. 4 badges down, 4 to go. On Route 5, Charen stops us for a rematch, but I'm not prepared for him. He leads with Liepard as I go with Kaiba. I decide to go for an Attract, after getting hit by a weak Pursuit. I manage to stack up 3 on close, but Cut doesn't do all that damage, and Liepard manages to go for a Torment before going down. What a jerk. The effects of Torment force me to swap into Jester, who takes a Razor Shell to the face, lowering his defense. Jester retaliates with a crit Muddy Water, and Devot's Citrus Berry activates, restoring him some HP back. Devot then goes for a Focus Energy, while a second Muddy Water drops his accuracy by 1 stage. Despite the drop, Razor Shell still manages to connect, bringing Jester to a mere 3 HP. Worst of all, I can't swap into Kaiba. She wouldn't survive another move. All I can do now is gamble, stay in and hope to avoid the next move. Muddy Water connects, unfortunately doesn't take out Devot, but gets another accuracy drop, preventing Jester from getting hit by his next attack. After recovering all my HP back with Rest, I decide to switch to Kaiba, as Devot seems to be fixated on Fury Cutter. Once on the field, it turns out to be Devot's dirty plan to force me to switch. Luckily for me, Water Pulse ends up missing thanks to the accuracy drops from before, and a single cut brings Devot down. Reaching level 29, Kaiba conveniently learns Rock Slide, and I immediately teach it over Rest. Because of this, both Pansear and Tranquil go down with a single hit respectively. Oof! What a match! I thought I'd lose this one, but thankfully we did it. There's no time to celebrate though. Alder, the Unova region champion in charge, wants to see Charen and me fight alongside in a double battle against 2 preschoolers, only because Charen is an idiot and refuses to understand the concept of strength. The fight starts and both the preschoolers sends out 2 level 26 Hardier. What? Come on guys, what does this have to do with me? To add insult to injury, both Hardier focus their attacks on me, while Charen's Liepard proves to be completely useless against them. I'm forced to swap into Jester. Kaiba is on her last leg, but 2 takedowns nearly knock him out. Cheren, I hate you so much. Look what your stupidity has done. And your stupid cat can't even do anything. Needless to say, Jester goes down with a takedown and Kaiba follows him immediately after, bringing attempt number 3 to an end. It's attempt number 4 and I'm feeling positive. Fortunately, the Rivalry is female, but while fighting against Bianca, I noticed something's wrong. My attacks are dealing way less damage than usual. Let me see something real quick.
No! God, please, no! No!
Still in denial, I named her Hope because right now is it what I need. Fast forward to Route 3, where Cheren's Purloin nearly got the kill on us, leaving Hope with a single HP remaining. After catching Bubo the Temple and Baldy the Sandile, I head to the Desert Resort to grab the TMs for Dig, Rock Tomb and the Soft Sand. Here, Baldy evolves into a Crocorock. Anyway, we're back again on Route 5. Since the current level cap is 33, I decided to train Hope to level 30 in order to make this fight and the one against the preschoolers a little bit more manageable. The fight starts as Cheren leads with Lightard while I go for Hope, who flinches after being hit by a turn 1 takeout. On the next turn, Hope gets hit by Pursuit before going for an attract. The high level gap between Hope and his Pokémon allows me to outspeed every member of his team, so after setting up 6 times in a row with Honeclaws and wasting another 6 turns thanks to Lightard's Torment attack, Hope manages to land a Rock Slide taking down the Purple Cat. Dewott comes in next, but Hope can't hit it with Rock Slide because of the Torment. Luckily for Hope, Dewott gets immobilized by Love and gets knocked out by a Rock Slide on the next turn, making Hope grow to level 31. Both Pansear and Tranquil don't stand a chance, and they both get annihilated by 2 Rock Slides to the face each. At level 31, Hope evolves into Excadrill, gaining the Steel type, incredibly useful for the next battle against the true preschoolers ahead. Needless to say, the 2 Hardier don't even get a scratch through Excadrill's Staff Skin, and both goes down to Baldy's succession of attacks. After crossing the Charizard Bridge, the squad and I arrive in Driftvale City. I'm headed to the city market where I buy the entire stock of Mumu milk. Once in the cold storage, I am able to find the TM for Scald and teach it immediately to Bubo, who is going to make a good use of it, displacing Team Plasma from the storage, putting an end to the rave party. Gym Leader Clay recognizes our strength and accepts to have a battle against us. It's a mirror match. Leader Clay is leading off with Crocorock, as I go with Bubo and oh my, we had so much luck avoiding that swagger on turn 1. Seriously, the battle could have gone downhill pretty quickly as I didn't have answers for that. One Mystic Water boosted Scald one-shots Clay Crocorock and deals 50% of damage to Palpitoad on the next turn. A second Scald brings him down and is the turn for Clay's trump card, Excadrill. I go for a 2-hit KO Scald, don't get the burn, as Excadrill goes for Honeclaws, increasing his attack stat. This thing has got even scarier. I need to survive just one attack. On his turn, Clays goes for a Slash, which nearly gets the KO, but fortunately he doesn't get the crit, and my next Scald finishes him off, granting us the Quick Badge. 5 down, 3 more to go. Moving towards Route 6, Bianca stops us asking for a rematch. There's nothing much to say about it. Each and every one of our Pokémon goes down to Hope's +3 Rock Slides. Well, Bianca, it was fun. See you next time! On Route 6, Clay is testing his new bug spray against some wild Galvantula, and alongside his business card, he gives me the TM for Bulldoze. Thank you! This one is going to be crucial for the end of the challenge. In Chargestone Cave, I am finally able to catch my Dupe encounter, being another female Drillbur, who I named Miracle. I mean, it must be a miracle if you manage to get here. While leaving the cave, Team Plasma's King N himself challenges us to a fight, but this team is so weak now, there's no need to show how bad I humiliated him. In Mistralton City, home of the Flying type gym, I remember Bianca gave us the HM for Fly, and decided to catch a HM Slave. I set my target on Driftvale Drawbridge, but instead of finding a cute, normally unaware Ducklet, I found the meanest and most evil duck in all Unova history. Just before being touched by my Mega Ball, his eyes started glowing red in laughter, breaking out of my balls 5 times in a row. Finally, I caught him! What the heck? Before the 6th gym challenge, I decided to train a little bit in Chargestone Cave, and this happened. Oh no, not again. Why? Why? I played this game for an infinite amount of time back in 2010 and never found a shiny. Now that I can only use ground types Pokémon, all the shinies in the world decided to show up? This is messed up. Just to be clear, as it was for Darumaka, I'm catching this Joltik only because it's shiny. They are not considered viable encounters. There, what a beautiful name. Next, it's time for Skyla, Mistral City Gym Leader, master of flying type Pokémon. She leads with Swoobat, as I lead with Hope. Since her Pokémon are all females, I can go for the usual attract strategy, but there's no need for that. Swoobat goes for Amnesia 3 times in a row, allowing me to set up with Honklows and sweep her team with Rock Slide. Well, thank you very much Swoobat. 6 badges down, 2 to go. On Route 7, Bubo evolves into a powerful Seismitoad, and before entering Twist Mountain, we've got a rival fight against Cheren. Since Bubo just evolved, I want to see how powerful he became. He's leading off with his newly evolved Unpeasant, and manages to land a weak Air Slash. I hit with Scald and it's a 2-hit KO. Before getting bullied by another Scald, Seismitoad gets hit by a useless taunt. Cheren then sends out a level 35 Dewott. Don't you know you could have had a Samurott by now? What a rookie. Anyway, Dewott is still capable of doing good damage. I go for Scald hoping to get the burn, and I do, nullifying the recovery of his leftovers. After a good rest mid-battle and a chest of berry snack, Seismitoad puts Dewott out of his misery with 1 dig attack. Liepard comes out next, but 2 digs takes him down. The newly evolved Simisear joins the fray, but his trainer doesn't seem to understand type matchups very well, so Seismitoad decided to punish him with another dig. Cheren, it is better for you if you go back to the Pokémon school in Striaton City. Please, learn some more. Do it for your team. After emerging on the other side of Twist Mountain, I'm in Isebrus City, where a former combat girl gives me the TM for Brick Break, a powerful fighting type attack, incredibly useful against the town's gym leader's ice types. It's winter, and thanks to the snow, I'm allowed to explore the town's surroundings a little bit more than the other seasons. While searching for hidden items on the ground, I stumbled upon the house of a retired Team Rocket ground from Kanto. The nearby Route 8 yields the TM for Sludge Bomb and my new encounter Stunfisk. I'm so glad to finally be able to use this Pokémon. I always wanted to do it but never had the chance to. After catching it in a Velox Bowl, I named it Baikolo, as it has the same form as an ancient Venetian cookie called Baikoli. Baikoli are very dry biscuits made for long sea voyages. They gained their name because of their shape, resembling that of a sea bass, which was called Baikolo in Venice. Ah, the name is so fitting. I'm already in love with Baikolo. Back in Isebrus, it's time to fight against Bryson. Fortunately, all these Pokémon are male, so Hope can spam Attract how many times she wants to. Love isn't a thing for Ice Cream though, and Vanillish still manages to attack every turn as if he wasn't in love with Hope. On top of that, his acid armors are forcing me to set up a little longer than needed, and the Frost Breath crits makes me go for rest sooner than I thought. Good thing I gave Hope a chest of berry, so she can wake up immediately after healing herself up to full and sweep Bryson's team with some +4 attack brick breaks. I have to admit it though, I didn't think Vanillish would give me so much trouble. I'm genuinely surprised, but enough with the compliments. 3 brick breaks and Bryson's ice type are completely shattered to the ground. 7 badges down, 1 to go. While leaving the gym, I got invited by Ann, king of Team Plasma, to reach him on the top of Dragon Spiral Tower. If he thinks he's got a date with me, he has lost his mind. What a beta. On my way through, I'm able to catch Gollet, the last member of the team. I've never used one before, so I'm super happy to give it a chance. Anyway, I named it Makia. Yes, I know, it's a perfect name, I love it already. On my way up to the summit of the tower, Baldy evolves into a crocodile, and there it is, the perfectly bald head. Once on the top, I finally found out what Team Plasma was working on for all this time. Anne has managed to awaken the mighty slumbery beast of legends. Behold, Sleepy Joe.
What's happening?
Joe Biden.
What's happening?
There is no time to waste. We need the Blackstone in order to stop this coalition between Anne and Joe Biden, or Unova will fall into a totalitarian, unconstitutional monarchy, and all its inhabitants will be turned into servants and slaves for Team Plasma. The hunt for the Blackstone starts in the Rally Castle, but Team Plasma preceded us. After fighting some grounds, we found out the stone isn't there. In fact, it has always been displayed inside Nacreen City's museum. Once there, Lenora decides to give us the precious stone. On my way to Opelucid City, I have the last rival battle against Bianca, and my god, this girl has done some training. Her team looks terrifying. One mistake and the challenge is over. She is leading off with Stoutland, a very powerful Pokémon at this point of the game, as I go with Boldy. We both get intimidated as I decided to swap into Bicolo. Retaliate doesn't do much thanks to attack drop, and luckily for me I get the turn 1 paralysis with static. Right what I needed. Bicolo has done his job, so I decided to switch to Hope. On the switch, Stoutland raises both her attacks with Warcap. I start to set up on my next turn and Stoutland does the same with Warcap. I then go for another Home Close, and the paralysis starts to take an effect on Stoutland. Once at +4 attack, I start clicking Earthquake and sweep her team. Stoutland goes down in a single hit. Simipour doesn't even know what hit her. Her Ace Superior is the only one able to outspeed Hope, and a non-crit stab Leaf Blade deals 51 HP. Hope then retaliates with an Earthquake, finishing the snake off. At level 42, Hope wants to learn Sword Dance, the last piece for her moveset. Bianca's last Pokémon is Musharna, but an X-Scissor cuts the poor thing in half and the battle is over. In Opelucid City, Team Plasma is spreading the news and has teamed up with Sleepy Joe and won the elections. Annie is now going to be the President King of the Unova region. In order to overturn these rigged elections, I need to defeat the last gym first, but the Dragon types here are no joke. A single fracture brought me to my knees after only 2 Dragon Dances. Just look, I don't know what to do. I really have to say that without Boldy on my side, I wouldn't be here. Intimidate is a fantastic ability and I'm so happy to have her in my team. After that fight, my subconscious decided it wasn't enough and made me forget to heal my team, so after some steps, I got ambushed by veteran Hugo and his level 42 Dradigon. Please, wake me up, is this a nightmare? I won't show everything in this battle, but just look at what condition my team managed to win the fight. Still shaking and throwing up, Makia evolves into Golurk. Now it's time for some training. Since now I have the HM for Surf, I did a little bit of backtracking, grabbed the TM for Rock Slide among a few others, and took the time to see a legend with my own eyes inside Mistratol Cave. Calm down guys, it's a Steel-type Pokémon, it's completely immune to poison. Then I grabbed the HM for Waterfall and the TM for Thunderbolt. Back in Opelucid City, it's time to fight against the last gym leader Iris. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was really scared by her team of dragons. Since the gym trainers were capable of causing me a lot of trouble, just the thought of having to face her 3 dragons all at once really gave me the shivers. Plus, Iris's Pokémon are all females, so there aren't going to be attract shenanigans in this fight. In order to win this fight, I must sweep her team with Hope. I can't let her dragons have a chance to set up, and Hope is the only one that can do that. So after clicking Sword Dance once, Earthquake manages to take down every Pokémon in Iris' team. Wow, pretty anticlimactic, isn't it? A win is a win, and the Legend Badge is ours. Now I must head to the White House where Anne is waiting for me. But before that, Professor Juniper gives me the Master Ball, and Sharon stops me for our last battle. He wants to see if I can take Joe Biden in a real fight. Seriously? Are you doing for real, Sharon? Listen, when I told you to go back to the trainer school, I wasn't joking. So after sweeping through his team with Hope and crossing the easiest victory road of all times, I arrive at the Pokémon League, home of the strongest trainers in all Unova. Except they don't even have a full team of 5 or 6. If there is a flaw to be found in these games, is in fact the number of team members in gym leaders and Elite Force parties. I don't know what Game Freak was thinking when they made this poor choice. Just before entering the league, I made the terrible mistake of giving all my Pokémon all the rare candies found along my journey. I should have kept them for the last fight of the game. Then I did some shopping and bought some vitamins at the mall on Route 9 and did my best to properly EV train my team. Once inside the league, I start with Elite 4 Caitlyn, master of psychic types. Needless to say, Boldy has the upper hand in this match. With the black glasses on, she's able to sweep through her team without a single problem. Next one is Chantal, the ghost-type Pokémon user. The strategy here is pretty simple. I lead with Hope and start to set up with Sword Dance to sweep her team. Cofagrigus turn 1 Will-O-Wisp connects and burns Hope, but it's not a problem since I gave her rest. After stacking up 2 Sword Dances, I get rid of the burn turn and recover all my health with a quick rest. After that, Cofagrigus and all Sean Toll's team members go down with a +4 stab Earthquake. Nice job, Hope. The Dark-type Master Grimsley is next, and things start to be a bit more complicated, especially because of his lead, Scrafty. Scrafty is a powerhouse, both physically and defensively, and knows a wide range of moves that hit all my Pokémon for a lot of damage. In order to win this fight, I must debilitate it by lowering its attacks that would Boldy's Intimidate. To do this, I need to take advantage of the AI. Since Boldy is on the field, the AI will always tell Scrafty to go for a super effective move in Brick Break. Knowing that, I kept switching between Makia in order to counter Scrafty's fighting moves and Boldy to lower its attack stat. After repeating this process 6 times, Scrafty has become completely useless, but I'm not satisfied yet. I need something more. Haha, thanks Baikolo. This is what I was talking about. The path is now clear for Hope to sweep through Grimsley's team. After one attract and a sword dance, all the opposing dark types fall one after one to a +2 stab Earthquake. Marshall is the one I left to the end for a very simple reason. He's deadly. The battle starts and he's leading with Throw, a threat to every member of my team. I need to take him out quickly, so I lead with Hope as she is the only one who can take Throw's powerful attacks, set up and retaliate with a powerful stab attack. Once Throw is defeated, Conkeldurr comes out next, but I'm not sure why. Hope definitely outspeeds him, so he goes down to another Earthquake. Mienshao, Marshall says, comes in next, but he doesn't represent a problem for me, as Makia completely walls him. Fighting type attacks don't affect Golurk, and Mienshao jump kick ends up failing, dealing a lot of recoil damage. After flinching 2 times in a row with Rock Slide, Makia manages to take down Mienshao with a super effective fly attack. Marshall's last Pokémon is Soak, and oh my, this was a long and annoying fight. After getting an Intimidate into Soak, I decide to swap into Baikolo, who completely walls him. After paralyzing it with Static, landing a crit Thunderbolt and 2 Hyper Potions, I manage to pick the kill and proceed to the Champion Chamber, where Alder has just been defeated by Anne and Sleepy Joe. All of a sudden, Team Plasma's castle comes out of the ground, completely surrounding the Pokémon League. Anne is waiting for me at the top, so I take the Black Stair and I'm in. Once inside, Team Plasma's 6 sages want me dead. I'm cornered, but when all hope seems lost, all the 8 gym leaders come to the rescue, allowing me to reach the summit. I won't waste this chance. And then I go up some stairs, and I'm out of the castle. Sorry guys, I need to train some more. I managed to reach the top of the castle, when the Blackstone starts reacting to my unbending will to win this fight. Once and for all. Within fractions of a second, the Blackstone turns into a black dragon.
Is that Sleepy Joe I hear? Finally, I'll beat you this time, Joe, just like I do every time. That's a promise. You're gonna be really sleepy after this fight.
This mighty being recognizes me as his master, but to be mine, I have to catch it. Nothing a Master Ball can do, but this is a ground Monotype Nuzlocke after all. I am not allowed to use you in battle.
So you're not gonna make me fight against him? Come on, man.
Then it's time for the major fight of the game, against N, Team Plasma's king. His first Pokémon is Joe Biden himself. Bubo is the only one capable of resisting Sleepy Joe's powerful attacks. I was expecting a Hyper Beam on turn 1, but to my great surprise, he goes for a resisted Fusion Flare, dealing a minimum amount of damage. On the other hand, Bulldoze does exactly half damage, and with the speed now lowered by 1 stage, Bubo is able to outspeed and take down Sleepy Joe with another Bulldoze.
Let's be clear. I only fell off because the thing that constrains the foot got stuck on the right side.
Klinklang comes out next, but it gets completely walled by Makia, who finishes off the gear Pokémon with a stab Earthquake. Then it's time for the major threat himself, Vanillux. Bubo is the only one able to take it down. On the switch, Bubo takes a blizzard to the face and miraculously manages to survive at 53 HP. When I said Vanillux was a threat, this is what I meant. I'm trying to think of a possible strategy to defeat him, but I can only see victory if I let Bubo die to get a free switch on my next turn. So it's decided, and after hitting with a Drain Punch, the incoming Blizzard ends up missing. Yes, Bubo, I knew you could do it. You're the best. Thanks to the HP recovered with Drain Punch, Bubo manages to withstand another Stab Blizzard with only 1 HP. Bubo, what a champion! And one last Drain Punch shatters Vanillux to pieces.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Zoroark is next, but he gets completely destroyed by Fighting Gem boosted Brick Break. In comes the other big threat, Caracosta, and I don't know what to do about it. After some consideration, I decide to switch to Miracle and let her die for a free switch. A waterfall brings her to only 15 HP, and before she's able to retaliate with Earthquake, she goes down to a priority Aqua Jet. Thanks Miracle, your sacrifice won't be in vain. Boldy comes in next, and before she's able to retaliate with Earthquake, I go for Crunch as he goes for a waterfall to the face that brings Boldy to only 54 HP. An Aqua Jet could kill me, but surprisingly he goes for another move and a super effective Earthquake takes him down. Archeops is N's last Pokémon. Although he's a very powerful Pokémon, he can do anything to my sweet Bicolo. A turn 1 static paralysis allows Bicolo to outspeed. Yes, you heard it right. Outspeed, and gets fried by one single Thunderbolt. King N and Sleepy Joe are defeated. N has finally understood what democracy is, and he vows he will never ever try to proclaim himself king without a public election again. But it's not time to celebrate yet. His father Getchis has different plans. He trained his son to be a king, and a king he should be. He doesn't want democracy in Unova, and Daddy is not going anywhere if his son doesn't get a crown now. Well, it's time to fight this mad lad once and for all. Let me get you a little bit of democracy. Crybaby Getchis is leading off with Cofagrigus as I lead with Bubo. Cofagrigus ends up failing with Toxic as Hope comes in. Thanks to the free switch, I can go for a Sword Dance as Cofagrigus decides to waste its second turn with Protect. It must be really scared of Hope because he goes for it for a second time failing. I couldn't ask for a better turn of events. Fortunately for us, Cofagrigus is fixated on Protect, and this allows me to go for a second Sword Dance. Cofagrigus ends up missing his 4 Protect and goes down to a stab Earthquake. It's time for Getch's ace, Hydreigon, and this is it, where it all comes down to a coin flip. If he manages to land a hit, we're dead. Unfortunately, Hydreigon manages to land a super effective Focus Miss. What? Hope survived the hit? Hope! You absolute monster! Hope then retaliates with a +6 Brick Break, dividing the Hydra in 2 pieces. What has just happened? I can't believe my eyes! Hope, I love you! You're the best! Bouffalant comes in next, but Earthquake finishes him off in a single hit. The same goes for Seismitoad, Electros and Bisharp. I did it! I completed the challenge and all it took was 4 attempts. Folks, thank you for reaching the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. So if you did, please leave a like and a comment telling me what part you liked the most. As you can imagine, making a video like this one requires a lot of work. Besides the lovely art for the thumbnail done by the amazingly talented Min Totodile, go check out his channel right now and give this video a watch. Everything you see from the graphics, the recordings and the editing has done by me, so if you want, if you can, please consider joining my Patreon to receive cool perks such as becoming a part of the channel and being nominated at the end of every single video. You can find the link in the description section below. Well folks, this was all I got. I hope to see you again in my next video. Until then, let's have a good one. Bicolo salutes you. Arrivederci!